But today on Business Under Fire, we have Ian Acosta with Tip Top Cleaners. And so Ian came in about a year ago, and it was he had just bought a dry cleaning business named Tip Top Cleaners in New Braunfels, Texas. Give us a quick rundown of what you do and where you're from and located first.
Yeah, no problem. My name is Ian Acosta. Me and my wife, Haley, purchased Tip Top about a year ago, last December. Tip Top Cleaners is the longest, oldest standing dry cleaners in New Braunfels, Texas, and was established in 1942. So we're happy to pick up where the old owners left off with a long lineage of great owners before them and keeping New Braunfels looking tip-top.
That's sweet. So the point, Ian and I have been kind of texting back and forth a little bit throughout the past year, and I've been watching him do his thing at the cleaners, adjust, and we've been in here for maybe an hour. We just had lunch and talking about it. And really the point of today's podcast is, so what the fuck has happened the past year?
Yeah, we've covered a lot of topics between the two of us
and
just chatting, so we got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to show and tell and discuss the story and the venture of a person that was working at a establishment, which was the dry cleaners, the transition to buying it, which is where our podcast was a year ago. And you had only owned it for maybe 3 weeks.
I think it was more
Or
like
3 months.
3 months. Yeah.
Very young.
Very optimistic.
Yeah. And so, life has a way of knocking the shout out of you. Business has a way of knocking the shout out of you, as old Coach Burt would say. And so I want to run through the past year of your experience as what you thought being a business owner meant and was, and where you are now. And I would just say, a year in of owning your own business, you should be independently wealthy by now, right?
I wish. Oh my gosh. We were just talking about how awesome it is to end up just barely breaking even. So I wish I was rolling in here with a new Rolex and a new car. Same van as last time, just a nicer wrap on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all marketing, branding. That's a lot of what's changed between last year and this year is we've gotten more serious and locked in on what our brand is, who we are as a company, the culture we want to build, and what even culture means to us as a business. So yeah, it's been really fun so far.
What do you think is the number one lesson that you have learned in the past year of running your own business?
Be patient. Number one, with customers. There's a lot of times where you do this all day, every day. You're saying the same things over and over again, talking about the same kinds of processes and procedures. So when you have customers sometimes that want a little extra care, want to better understand what you're doing, things like that, you got to be patient with them. Be patient with your employees. Recognize that they have lives and they have a lot of things probably going on in their lives outside of their work life. And as long as they are performing for you, just be grateful and just allow yourself to give yourself some patience, because I make a lot of mistakes along the way. Luckily, never step too far off in it, but luckily, yeah, I learn from my mistakes and keep pushing. So just be patient, I think.
Were you being impatient before or right when you started?
I think whenever I was starting, I was so excited that now I've got control of this thing, this new object, this new toy, and not a power trip, but starting to get an understanding of like what that actually means and looks like, and the kinds of repercussions that can happen if you make the wrong decision too soon, too quick, if you change a product without having everything set in place to deliver that product over and over. I wouldn't say I was impatient. I just wanted everything to happen all at once.
Do you think that as an entrepreneur, you always want things to move in a hurry?
I think as you get more successful, yeah, you expect things to happen immediately, instantaneously, but as you continue to develop a portfolio, you recognize that it's the long game, that as long as you're taking step by step every single day, marching forward, the longer time horizon is usually how you plan and achieve where you want to get to.
How about your patience with dealing with employees on a day-to-day basis? What did you feel has changed from day one of dealing with them? And what was that like when you had to introduce yourself as the new owner, and then now you're dealing with them a year later?
Well, whenever I first took over, it was a lot of memories of when I was there as an employee and alongside them, and being a young entrepreneur, young talent. Everybody doesn't always give you the respect that you demand whenever you are as successful. But whenever you don't get that, you have to recognize it's not something that you're doing wrong. It's just you have to prove and get that respect from those people that have been there for 14, 15 years in the trenches. That, yeah, I was next to them before, but they don't think of me as someone that's going to be pushing the iron and doing the hard work, when the reality is yeah, I'll be back there bagging just like I was 5 years ago. And if that's what we have to do to get where we need to go and to make the company better and help it be a more lively, efficient business, that's what I do for now.
What do you think an employee would say? How have you grown in the past year? What do you think the employees would say about your progress?
I think they'd say I'm less stressed. At the beginning, whenever I was trying to learn drinking from a fire hydrant, is what I think of it as. Just trying to absorb all of the information and things like that. I would get stressed out, and they would see just financially, I'm putting everything into this place. I'm giving all my energy. I'm there, but when they get there, I'm there after they leave. So I think that they would recognize now that I've got more of an understanding and help them achieve efficiency without just demanding it from them, by empowering them to make decisions and creating a culture where they are empowered to make the team better. And if they recognize someone that isn't pulling their weight, they step up and they say, hey, what's going on? And if you're not willing to step up, if you're sick, if you got something going on, there's no problem with that. Go home, get the rest that you need, because the team demands everyone to be working as hard as they can while you're here, so we can all get out. The business demands that in order to stay profitable. And if we can't be profitable, then no one has a job. That's the difference that we've created as a culture, is now they have more buy into the business, whereas before they just felt like workers of the
showing
business.
up and doing their thing.
Just collecting the hours, watching the minutes go by. Whereas now, yeah, they took pride before, but they take pride in tip-top cleaners, and I give them branded shirts and uniform shirts that they can wear around, and they can be happy and take ownership of, yeah, this is where I work. This is the product I put out every day. We do a lot of clothes for a lot of some famous people, some not so famous, but they take pride in their product. And that's what I take pride in, is the fact that they're willing to take ownership of it, even though they may not have to take on the responsibilities and all the stress that I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
There's a little bit of it. What are you doing yourself now that you weren't doing 12 months ago to educate yourself on how to run a business?
I watch a lot more business, or I used to watch a lot of like poker videos and video gambling videos, sports gambling. Things
Those are
like
coming
that.
across my. Those are coming across my feed. I have a group. I used to play poker a lot, and then I stopped. And now there's a group of us that have been going to play poker, and now those damn things are coming through. What's the guy's name? Mike with the Gamble shirt. He's got his brand just says Gamble.
Oh, I don't know.
But I never had any of that shit coming across, and now I have a lot of that. But it sounds like you have some of the other shit I got mixed in. What are you watching?
Now I watch like a lot more Alex Hermosi, Cody Sanchez, laundromat content, laundromat girl, anything associated with laundry and how not even though I don't own a laundromat, I'm learning all about laundromats and how I can meld and mesh things together to make a more resilient business. These old boring businesses don't all have to be separate, independent, as long as you can actually mix. I love what the Dixie Chicks are doing. I can't remember which one in particular, but Soap here in San Antonio is a laundromat coffee shop. I think it's over 3,000 square feet, and it's just a place of community. That's the other aspect of what we're excited about at Tip Top when we took on Tip Top, was being a part of the community and being able to create a place where community can still come together. Because as we get more technological and advanced and AI and all this stuff that keeps us apart and doesn't want to bring more and more people together. Yeah, it creates time, but it's still up to us what we do at that time and how we go as a community and mingle and associate and things like that. So really big on the community and being hyper local and creating a brand that the community can trust in, rely on.
I've seen some of the stuff that you've been putting out on content, and I think, that's part of the reason we do the podcast. I don't know what the hell will come out of this. And I was telling you before, like, there's cameras on, we're getting recorded, but I don't even think about it anymore.
We're just having a conversation.
Which I think is a good spot to get. It probably took 30 episodes to get like that, but the informative content that you guys have been putting out, I love, and I want to see more of it.
Well, that's what you pay for at Tip Top, is our expertise, and we want to convey value. And one of the big ways we convey value is by giving that secondhand, that expertise to the community, so they can do some of this stuff at home. Dry cleaning is expensive. Bringing it to us we have a lot of staff, we have a lot of overhead, so it's not cheap. But however we can give to the community all the resources that they need to maybe have a better outcome so they don't have to come see us, then they're still relying on us to be the expert, have an opinion on the conversation and what's going on. We're happy. We would love for more people to consider us the expert on the conversation.
What does a shirt cost to get dry cleaned these days?
Laundry or dry clean?
I don't know. I don't take my stuff. I throw it in the washer.
A laundered shirt, which is more heat intensive and has starch, that's $475 a shirt. And then on the dry clean side, it's $725. The dry clean side is because we have to press it by hand.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how much longer it takes by hand versus I was telling you about earlier, we just purchased a new shirt double buck press machine, and so it's automated with pneumatics, and that's what irons a laundered shirt. So that's where that cost difference is. It's not the washing that's the hard part, it's the labor that goes into actually putting out a good quality press shirt.
I was watching a deal the other day on the interweb, and it was the guy was starching jeans. Well, I had always thought that starch meant spray your aerosol starch on, iron it, and that's it. That's not the case.
No.
How do you starch a pair of jeans?
At Tip Top, we actually have powdered starch that we put into the wash cycle. So the water gets hot, it goes through the wash cycle, and then with that hot water, think about it like sweet tea. Whenever the water's hot, you can get more starch into that water, super saturate the denim. And starch is actually a stain preventative. So that's the old school reason for why cowboys and all the old ranchers would want heavy starch.
Yeah.
Is because if they had a cow or something bleed on them or some shit or something got on them, it'd wash right off because the actual fabric of denim is coated in starch.
And the welders like to use it because the slag goes off of there. So that'd be a good Instagram thing for y'all to do on starch.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, just like Parker McCollum on AMA.
You're a heavy starch expert at TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny.
Did he have some heavy starch jeans on?
Yeah, they were calling him the Starch Cowboy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He lives here in New Braunfels. Who knows where he gets his stuff done at?
He needs a logo on the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It looked tip-top on TV, I'll tell you that.
We need to go find him. It looked tip-top on TV. We need to go find him. What else have you learned? What would another valuable lesson, that just a complete 180 thought that you had before owning your own business to now that is just 180 degrees completely wrong from what you thought it was to what it is actually for you?
One big thing is being a family-owned, family-operated business. So I've always dreamt of that. I've always wanted that. But putting that into fruition and bringing that into real life, as many people know, is a challenge. It's a different set of challenges from your normal employees because you have different. Personally, I have different expectations and I have different thought processes that I think my family and me would have in the same thought and line of thought. So if we get on the wrong side of each other, it's a little bit harder to navigate and conversate in front of everybody because you don't want to make your family member look like you're treating them differently or you're cutting them some kind of slack that the other people don't get, and then they don't respect them. So it's a different nuance to a family.
Delicate balancing act.
Yes, but it's valuable because I love the fact that me, my mom, and my brother, every day we just get paid to talk to each other, hang out, see each other. There's people that get spread out all the way across the country to make their living and support their families and never get to see their loved ones. So it means a lot to me and Haley, my wife, and we love the fact that we have the ability to own and operate a family-owned business. That's something that we cherish and really enjoy about Tip Top.
That's so cool. I work with my brother often, and it's definitely, I feel like it's a little more intense when they mess up, and maybe we should give them a little bit more grace. Maybe be patient, like you said. But I feel like the expectations of family are a little higher than the other employees.
Especially when you know who you like, you're a hustler. Like if you're my family member, you just know what I expect of myself. So if we're rolling together and I expect you to be the example and the bar for everybody else, it can get frustrating and daunting sometimes to have those conversations. But anything in life is hard, and communication is very important in life. So learning how to communicate through those hard times, it makes it worth it. It makes it worth it, really.
Today for my brother, I'm gonna practice patience because we have a hangar next door that's all black. The trim is all black, dark black, gray. And I go over there yesterday and it's really starting to irk me when we have to do things twice. Mm-hmm. And I expect shit perfect.
Right.
And I go over there and there was some light going through the door jamb. So he decided that he was going to put caulk all over the door jamb, which is wonderful. But I just said that the hanger is black and he's putting white
oh my goodness,
caulk all over the door jamb, and I almost came unglued. I go, dude, what are you doing? Why would you not put black caulk all over this? Oh, but I could paint it. It's a paint. I'm like, but that's more hours, more time.
Yeah, and well, ours is very customer service oriented. So very much interacting with the public in any mood that the public may be in or any that patron may be dealing with that day. You're there. And sometimes my family doesn't always react the way that I would think we should react or respond. And so in those instances, I'm right there with you. It's like, oh, maybe I need to coach them up a little bit so we don't have these rough spots here and there.
A cheerful face and a welcoming, warm person at the cleaners is worth its weight in gold.
Oh, yeah. Betty. Yeah. At my other location, we have an employee. She's been there for 25 years. So since the first owner, the previous owner purchased the cleaners, she's been there. She's raised her kids in there. Her daughter works with us too. She's the manager. So when I say family oriented, we keep it family, even though it's not just my family. Like we have multiple generations of people working behind the counter and things like that.
That's sweet. What? Give me an example of something that was going on at the shop, whether it be equipment, a process, anything like that was going on at the shop that you just didn't see when you purchased Tip Top and you got in there and you're like, why in the hell is this going on? And what did you do to change it?
One of the big issues that we were dealing with was our boiler. I
remember this.
Yeah, my plant manager was having to basically nurse a pump to keep the boiler running all day. So it would waste his time. And I didn't understand what was causing the problem, just that he had to do this pouring water over this pump to keep it pumping water all day. And it took me literally like 2 months of understanding, okay, there's a bunch of little contraptments called steam traps, and those are supposed to hold steam back so it doesn't flow into the overflow tank. And since steam is getting into the overflow tank, it's it's making the pump seize. It's not allowing water to flow through because it has steam in it instead of water.
You're becoming an expert on parts of cleaning.
Engineering.
That you never
thought. No, nothing. I never thought I would be learning about plumbing and steam and pressures and chemical water softeners and how water interacting with your clothes actually makes them whiter. And if you don't have a water softener, these minerals in this area can turn your whites yellow. It's all kinds of these little deals, and it's fun. Like, I enjoy it. And but that's what we get paid to do. That's what our expertise is. That's why when people talk about how expensive we are or this, that, or the other, we're the most reasonably priced cleaners in New Braunfels.
Yeah.
And we do it all in town. We offer same day service. So we offer services that other cleaners don't offer. Yes, other cleaners may do it in New Braunfels, but not downtown like we're doing it. You can come see us operate, and every garment, if there's something going on, come see us. We'll talk about it.
I would say, what do you think a shirt should cost to get dry cleaned 15 years ago? $2. Yep. That's why it's $475 now.
Right. A house is more than double.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? People were buying 3-bedroom houses for $80,000 back in the day. You're not buying anything like that in New Braunfels.
They had an article that today that went out that had a receipt from H-E-B, a local grocery store from 1990. The same groceries that were $100 cost you $500 now.
It's wild. But that's life. I mean, that's the reality that we live in. So we were talking off camera about economics and the market and things like that. And I personally believe that we are living through what I think of it as is an environment of a crisis, where we see things like 2008, we see things like COVID. I'm not saying those things are coming. I can't predict a black swan.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that we're in the same kind of environment where those things appear. So I'm preparing myself and my business to be liquid and not super in debt and not over leveraged, and prepared for, if this does come, to capitalize on it, just like Rockefeller says, like buy the blood when it's in the streets.
Yeah.
But people don't realize, like in COVID or in 2008, people dreamt of buying at the bottom but couldn't facilitate an action. I bought my house in the middle of COVID. Why wasn't anybody else? Anybody else could have done it. Anybody else could have capitalized, and a lot of people didn't. But why? It's because they weren't prepared for that kind of situation to arise.
Are you seeing the dry cleaner industry? Are you seeing a lot of them go out of business right now?
Not right now, but definitely during COVID, a lot did not make it. A lot of the cleaners that we have a plant where we actually produce all of the dry cleaning. A lot of the cleaners that just were wholesale, pick-up, drop-off locations, those didn't make it because they couldn't control their cost. The facility was telling them, this is what we're going to charge you, and if you can't get it from your people, then you go out of business. So it has consolidated, and I will say that for our generation, dry cleaning is a dying industry. Mm-hmm. Dry cleaning is not something that my generation is really prone. Dry cleaning is not something that my generation is going to have garments that need to be taken care of, like my grandfather or your parents or you maybe. Like
I don't ever go to the dry cleaners. I just never, we were really poor growing up. Mm-hmm. And so that just never happened. So I was never really introduced to it. And I used to work at a car dealership, and this guy would make me run his clothes to the dry cleaner. And since I did the podcast with you, I've thought a few times that I have some shirts that I want to make look new again. Mm-hmm. So I do need to run those over there. And the few times that I have, I always feel like I'm wearing a new shirt when it is dry cleaned and pressed. So that's what
the expertise of a dry cleaner is for, is to make your garment stay as nice for as long as possible. That's what we're there to do, is be preventative care. and help you maintain your garment. But as they go more fast fashion and those garments aren't cherished like they used to be, so they no longer need to be taken care of as much as they used to be, we're pivoting along with that. And that's why I talk about laundromats and wash and fold services and business linens. We do.
Do y'all do a wash and fold at Tip Top? You can just drop your stuff off?
Yeah.
Dude,
drop it off.
Great.
Everything from your draws all the way to your just regular t-shirts.
Is that all done by the pound?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how come they choose by the pound on laundry instead of by the garment. It's just easier unit of measurement.
Easier. Yeah, because in dry cleaning and in like a laundered shirt, you have ironing, you have pressing, you have all of that built into the cost. Whereas with wash and fold, you have one whole load, maybe 2 loads, depending on your lights, darks, your delicates, and it all goes in. And then you don't mix clothes. You just, all of your load goes in, lights, darks, and then it gets folded by one person. Fold bag, and that's a lot faster process, meaning less labor, less cost, less inputs, less starch. There's no starch. It's just detergent and water. See what I'm saying? So that's why they go based off of a unit of measurement. Because if we did per garment, no one would be able to afford wash and fold. It'd be like 5 cents a garment.
What is your electric and water bill at your main store?
At Tip Top, we average around $2,000.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a lot. That doesn't include our gas. Gas is another $2,000.
Holy shit!
But that's
people just don't. People just don't.
Also,
understand.
People don't understand that New Braunfels has some of the highest rates in this area. So whenever you're supporting someone like us, it's because we're paying the same rate you are at your house and things like that. So that's what all goes into the cost, and that's what goes into being local. It's a lot more than just a star and a badge about, we're local, our address is this. No, like, we're here to support the community. I support the local footballs. I support all of the parades and things like that. We hand out water. We yes, it's branding and we're trying to promote ourselves, but it's because we want to have a bigger part in the community and be able to do more. So that's why we push the marketing, and that's why we utilize it in that way. But that's the real truth about Tip Top, is we want to be hyper local and build a monument that people, if you're going to use a cleaners, why not support someone local that's going to pour that money back into the community instead of just walk out with it to San Antonio or to Austin, or some people Arizona, because they're a franchise and their operator lives out of state.
I don't get that. We were having the same conversation on the face trash with a lady that commented on my coffee shop up in Amarillo about them being Paint Rock was more expensive than Starbucks, which it's not. And it's just like, why would you not support a small coffee shop or t-shirt shop as opposed to one of the national brands? My core buying is all with small people, and then we'll go to other people, but it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're literally taking care of the families that drive down the same street, that are handing you water at the parades. At least let me wash your shirt. That's why I used to tell people, at least just let me mow your yard. Yeah. That's all I'm asking.
Well, and if more people came to us, it would allow us. Right now, I would say our wash and fold is a premium service. I don't disagree with that. But as a dry cleaners, in order for us to allocate our washers, it's like real estate. We have enough dry cleaning. We have enough volume right now that we have to be justified putting off to the side our washers for just people's everyday household laundry. So we have to charge a bit of a premium. If more people came to us and we could actually justify building out a full wash and fold side of our facility, it would get cheaper. And maybe we could offer $1.50. Maybe we could offer $1.75. But until we get to that point, it's just not feasible. And we hope that one day it is. That's why we explore opening laundromats and doing those things, because that's how you drive efficiency and pick up extra extra savings you can pass on to the consumer.
The build out cost of building stuff is also just skyrocketed galore. What is a commercial washer and dryer for a washing, what do you call that? A laundromat. What would that even cost? Like $3,000 or $5,000
each unit?
Piece? Yeah.
Yeah, $3,000 to $5,000 a piece. So if you had, let's say, a 30 unit laundromat, you're looking at probably $500,000. And that's between 15 washers, 15 dryers.
Son of a bitch.
Maybe $250,000, but still a lot. Like that doesn't include the HVAC system. That doesn't include the framing. That doesn't include your POS system. That doesn't include like a lot of your finish out, your drywall, your flooring, your ceiling. Like that's just equipment.
You know, the best thing about the laundromat that I used to go to was the cigarette machine. That was back. I'd ride my bicycle there for
back when cigarettes were still cool.
Yeah.
Hey, laundromats are coming back. Maybe cigarettes will too.
Laundromats and coffee. Have you thought about doing that?
Yes. We're working on it. We're trying to figure out whether or not we want to spin up something in-house. We have space in New Braunfels that we're looking at doing something in. Maybe a laundromat, maybe a coffee shop. We're not quite sure yet. But stay tuned. Definitely 2026 now. That's where we're in.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one for us, and we're super excited to continue to build the brand of Tip Top.
I'm still getting used to writing 26 on the checks.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. It's weird. And it goes by so fast. Just as you start to get adjusted to 26, we're on to 27.
That's the truth. So in the past year, what has been something that you did at Tip Top that made a noticeably bigger difference in revenue for your business?
One of the big things that we added was linens. We talked about it last time. I crack up because I see a clip that you reposted, me talking about linens and how I was thinking about going about it. And
you weren't doing linens, were you?
Not yet.
But you had a lead to do linens, and I told you to go get after it.
Yeah, and I went after Downtown Social, Poorhouse. We do all of their linens, aprons, napkins, bar towels, everything like that right there out our back door. So big shout out to Downtown Social and Poorhouse. They're big supporters of Tip Top. If there's anything we can ever do for them, we're always there. Love collabing with them.
It was worth the drive to the podcast to do that.
It was a good nudge. I talked to Myron. Myron's right downtown, New Braunfels, McAdoo's, Cowboys and Cadillacs. What's funny about this though is that a lot of these people that we're talking about are already regulars of Tip Top Cleaners. So if you can just get over the aspect of asking for help or asking if there's an opportunity to be had, if you can get over that scary rejection potentially.
Are you nervous of rejection on the sales cycle at all?
No, not really. It's gotten to a point where I know what I have. I know the product that we put out, and as long as I continue to be ethical, continue to put out a good quality product, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. The pricing that I offer is being so close to these places. Yeah. I can offer such competitive pricing because I don't have to factor in building a whole route to incorporate them them into. Whereas all these other places built out of Seguin, built out of San Marcos, they have to build a route, charge you extra fees.
What would you say to somebody that is nervous of selling something to someone?
I lost kind of my nervousness about it whenever I read Grant Cardone, you're either sell or be sold. Grant Cardone's a funny guy. He's got a lot of interesting perspectives.
I liked Grant Cardone a lot when I kind of got introduced to him, and now I'm just losing interest in him because of, I don't know, his attitude, just stuff that he says.
All these influencers I talk about, I don't idolize. I don't look at them as like the gospel. I look at the overall picture, and I take the good stuff and I acknowledge the bad stuff and I keep moving. So for him, his reference though, how to frame your thought process about life in general, on you're either being sold a product or you are the seller of a product, whether that be yourself as a friend. You interact with people, you may not feel like you're selling, but you're selling your personality, yourself, if you're looking for a friend or things like that. Like it's just more than a transaction. Yeah.
Well, two of the things.
Is that fair? What do you think?
No, 2 points that I've really been stuck with lately. Number one in the sales cycle to me is some will, some won't. So what?
Right.
I don't give a shit. Number two is that every dollar that you've ever made. You came into this world with how much money in your pocket?
None.
And every single dollar that you and I have ever made came from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Which means we've got to go out and get it. And if we're offering a laundry service that we believe is the number one service, we're providing good service, customer service, delivering on time, keeping their stacks full when they need it, and we're doing a good job, why not buy it from us?
But that's that abundance mentality. Like, a lot of people now are starting to lose that mentality because there's so much abundance around us that they're shocked at how to even reach out and grab it. So it's living for abundance and recognizing it's right there for you to grab. Take action and grab it. Yeah. Don't waller in, I need this perfect moment so that way I can perfectly grab this opportunity.
So earlier I had asked, and you just hit the key word, is taking action. You had said that Tip Top has grown about 15% underneath what, from where you were the year before last, which to me, I couldn't say anything other than congratulations. I mean, that's huge. It could have gone the other way.
Definitely.
But taking action, do you think you could have done a better job this past year, or what do you think prevented you from taking a few extra steps to get it to 20%?
I think this last year really gave me, I had a lofty goal. I chased after it. And as along the way of chasing that goal, I realized the bottlenecks that existed in my business. When I purchased Tip Top, I took a lot of things at their face value from certain people that told me certain things.
Yeah.
So I just anticipated I was going to be able to do this lofty goal because I have conviction.
Do you think that you were just naive in the lofty goal? What was the goal?
The goal was 30%.
Okay.
To grow 30% year one, and that would have been sick.
Do you think you were naive, or do you think that if you would have pushed a little bit harder, do you think you could have got there?
I think we could have, but a lot of it would have been to the detriment of the quality of our actual product. So rolling out a whole new product would have costed me the quality of what got me to rolling out this product. So that's what I learned this year, was that you have to be patient.
Yeah.
And not sacrifice quality, because those are the people that got you here. That's the product that got you to this opportunity to be able to make this decision. So don't throw it away because of the grass being greener on the other side. Accept where you got, recognize the issues, and then set another goal for next year, realizing that you're going to rebuild, regroup, and then push again. There's phases in business that I've come to realize that there's growth, and then there's recuperating your costs.
Isn't it crazy?
It is, because people talk about it, but until you're holding the reins and making the decisions. And I used to play a lot of Tiny Towers, or those just quick little push button where the time passes on your phone.
Yeah.
You upgrade. That's what it feels like in business now. And now that I'm getting to a certain point, I don't have enough money to click upgrade anymore.
I know.
And I have to just wait the time so my bank can recuperate and grow so I can click upgrade again. And it's just realizing that that's the phase you're in. It allows you to be better in that phase.
I feel like everybody that does not work for themselves does not believe those phases are there.
No.
And there is nothing you can do. You're working,
unless you have unlimited money. If you have unlimited money, that helps a lot, man. I'll tell you, money moves mountains.
Yeah. Money speeds shit up.
You're right.
But sometimes, like in my life, we have great weekends, and then boom, 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 we knock out the things that we wanted to do. And then you got to sit. And then we have to save to get through the winter. I know. We lose about $100,000 a month in the winter because school goes out, Port Aransas goes out, and so we have to save all this money all year round so we don't get caught.
Stack hay in the winter,
dude. We have zero choice, or we will be up the Guadalupe River without a paddle.
And that's what being a responsible business owner is all about, though, is realizing in this environment, what is the best way? How am I going to keep this thing viable and alive? So if that's what it takes, then if you don't do it, you're dead.
You're done.
You're dead as a doornail.
I couldn't imagine looking. Now we have about 230 employees. I couldn't imagine, like, they can mismanage what they want, right? I always love to tell an employee, if I did what you do to me, you would kill me. They hold us.
Revolt.
They hold employers to the highest expectation. You can't make mistakes. The employer, you're not allowed to. But we let them make all kinds of putting white caulk around a black. Like, they make lots of mistakes, and they hold us like we're up here now. And so a lot of times now, if I make a mistake, which I own up to, I'm learning every day. I learn. If I make a mistake, that's what I tell them. I said, "Isn't that crazy? I made a mistake, and now you're holding me to this standard. But when I hold you to that standard, you get upset with me." Yeah. So it's a crazy difference in thought process. Oh, we love it. What else were we yapping about during our Chick-fil-A? Customer service at Chick-fil-A. It's one of the neat things. They have a Chick-fil-A in Seguin, Texas, which Seguin is awful about welcoming new businesses and ventures.
We did talk about that.
They get on the face trash and the reviews, and they dog everybody. And I watched it with a restaurant that my buddy owns the property, and they put one in on 123, and these people just dogged them left and right. But let's say positive today and say that the Chick-fil-A in Seguin, how do you say this being positive? You haven't been through there yet.
I have not been through there, but I will say the chicken tasted just as good as the New Braunfels chicken. So that is, I think that's good. A big plus. That's a big plus.
Very good on being positive. We want to talk about, so the way we will say it is the drive-through experience at Chick-fil-A in Seguin is much more challenging to navigate than any other Chick-fil-A you will ever go to.
Yeah.
And it is possible that, I would say it's impossible to go to a Chick-fil-A and say thank you and them not say my pleasure. It is possible to go through the Seguin drive-through and say thank you, and they will not say my pleasure.
But do you think that I can't see the comments on Facebook getting them closed? I think that they'll be just
absolutely
fine.
Not. But I don't feel like the line at that place is as long as the other Chick-fil-A lines, and I don't know.
I just feel like Seguin hasn't popped like all of the other surrounding. Like, it's growing, it's booming,
growing,
but it's just
massively.
Not. It's just not so much that you're seeing it at all. I feel like all the people in Seguin go to New Braunfels or go to San Antonio. They don't. Seguin's just a cheaper place to live, so that way they can support all of this other lifestyle that they have in all these other places. I'm
in Seguin a ton, and I don't know. I like the people in Seguin. I have good friends. My wife was
born and raised in Seguin. I love the people of Seguin. I'm not saying that. It's just when I worked in mortgage, when I saw applications for Seguin, it was always people that just wanted a cheaper house and were going to commute to do all these other things. That's why I say that. I'm not casting any kind of thought on it. Just that's what I saw.
Well, my thought is I don't love Seguin, but I do love the people in Seguin. And I've said this for 20 years. Seguin's like the place where you might actually get in a knife fight. And
you just better hope you didn't bring a knife to a gunfight in Seguin.
No, it's just such an interesting place.
I'm excited for the golf course to come in. They're doing a lot. Seguin's pouring a lot of resources into that golf course.
I cruised by there a couple days ago with a golfer buddy of mine, and you could tell it was the first. They hadn't cut the grass yet, so they had planted it, established it, and the grass was growing tall, not super tall. It looked beautiful.
I bet.
And they are pouring resources into Seguin, and they are coming to Seguin, but the
academy in Seguin is way nicer than the academy in Braunfels. I'll tell you that right now.
Hobby Lobby, James Avery Jewelry
Oh wow, okay,
in
okay.
Seguin. Who would have thought?
Yeah, wow.
Steve Parker, great job on bringing these folks there. He's the city manager, and then Burnt Bean is bringing people from all over the planet to downtown.
Well, Davila's
Seguin.
too. Don't forget about
Yeah,
Davila's.
Davila's is
They've
good
been doing
too.
it a while, bringing people for a long time.
So, do y'all ever have a inspiration to have a tip top in Seguin?
Yeah, we would love to have a tip top in Seguin, a tip top laundromat, dry cleaner pickup, drop off kind of store. There's a lot of competition in Seguin with dry cleaners.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a bunch. Local
We won't
cleaners.
name them.
Yeah, we don't need to, but they know who they are. It's cool. It's all good. If we come to Seguin, it'll be fun. But we don't have any plans right now. We'd rather go to like Spring Branch and build a foothold there, and then maybe come this way. But that's down the road.
Are you friends with any other folks that own dry cleaners?
Yeah, I know some people. Not own. No, I wouldn't say own, but I know people that used to own dry cleaners. They come to Tip Top. I talk to them sometimes. I talk to people in San Antonio that own some dry cleaners. But
how do you feel about being friends and dealing with people that are in the same line of work as you? You see that as a advantage or disadvantage?
I have no problem in being friends. But just because we're friends doesn't mean that I'm not going to compete with you just as hard as I would with someone I'm not friends with. So I'm putting my feet on my employees. They put their feet on the ground. They work hard every day. That's what I ask of them. That's what I expect of them. So as their boss, what would I be to not put my feet on the ground and just because you're my friend, not push you as hard as if you're putting out a good product against my product and we're friends and we're competing in the same area, let the market decide who's giving the best product. It's nothing personal. It's just business. I'm willing to compete in the business world. But for some other people that maybe don't have the same thought process or maybe have a little ego attached to it, maybe they do get offended and maybe why is it because I'm his friend that he's taking? No, I'm taking the axe to everybody. It's just you're on the other side of it, unfortunately.
How do you feel your relationships are now in the past year with people now that you're a business owner versus before you were a business owner? Are you listening to what non-business owners are saying? Are you steering, like, are you getting more fruit out of your conversation with business owners, or are you dropping non-business owners? What's that transition look like? Because I know there is one.
I definitely have learned to value my time and who I give my thoughts and time to. And man, that's a very thoughtful question.
You know, these are questions from a guy that's been working for himself for 25 years.
Because I will say, there's people that don't want to be my friend anymore. So
isn't that crazy?
It's wild that can happen, does happen, will happen. But at the end of the day, it's not something that's it's not something representative of me. It's just something that we grew apart.
It's growth.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely difference. But I don't know. I talk to the public every single day, and it could be any walk of life. And with that regard, I talk to anyone. And if you're just having a good day, if you're a good person, just like I am, cool. I'll talk to you about anything you want to. But if you're negative and you got some issues and there's some things that maybe I don't want to get into, no, I won't give you that same amount of time. But as far as friends go, I just cherish the friends that have the same kind of like-minded thoughts and push themselves.
What about business advice from non-business owners? How many people have you had tell you, you know what you should do?
I don't have a lot, I'll tell you that. A lot of my friends just recognize that they're not going to have a real opinion on what I do or how I operate or interjection on it. Someone that has experience and things like that, yeah, but no, I don't really take too much from. I take my customers. If they say something's wrong, if something's going on, you better believe, just like a doctor, I'm gonna put my stethoscope on, and I'm gonna get to diagnosing the symptoms and get it figured out. So yeah, I'll listen to my customers, but other than that, if you're not buying from me, if you're not working with my product on a day-to-day basis, your opinion just does not matter to me. Flat out. If I'm giving you bad customer service, if you're getting bad quality product, that's me as a person. That's my brand. That's us at Tip Top. I represent integrity. I represent a product, and I want to bring that to the marketplace. So if there's a problem with that, yeah, cool. But if you have a problem with me personally, or you have a problem with the way that I represent myself or how we conduct Tip Top, I feel like we're ethical. I feel like we're moral. I feel like we treat every single person that comes into Tip Top with the utmost respect and treat them just as anybody would want to be treated. So unless you are interacting with us and working with me, your opinion is just wallpaper.
I have been getting pretty, I don't know what the word is for it, but I'm kind of negative. I'm not negative. If there's a conversation that's going to be going on and it does not have my juices flowing in my brain, if it's not about airplanes, business,
right,
getting better at business, what can we do to solve employee issues or problems? If it's talking about other things, I exit the conversation.
There's just no need.
I'm terrible now.
Yeah.
I will turn and leave without saying bye.
Well, that's the value of your time too. That's the difference too. And it's so hard to explain this to people because they think that you look at yourself as if you're more valuable than they are. And that's not at all what it is. It's just my brain power and my resource of brain power on this bandwidth. I don't care for it to go on that. So I will expend it on this. And if there's not that conversation, I think that makes perfect sense.
I've been telling employees this issue that you're having is not on my plate. Mm-hmm. This is not something that I need to solve for you. And so you need to take care of this.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
We can't address, and that might be an issue that you've been having at your work. Like, how many things can you handle?
I will say year one, trying to get an understanding of the business, I did take on a lot, and I would grab things and I'd be like, oh, I'll take that responsibility. But now that I'm a year, I don't say I know everything, but now that I'm a year in and I kind of have a better understanding of the order of importance, I delegate. And now instead of taking on more, I give more to other people.
Yes.
And bestow them with responsibility, because if I'm going to continue to be reaching forward and growing, I'm going to create issues where I have to leave something behind and no one else picks it up, because that was my responsibility. And now that I'm moving on to the next deal, trying to grow in another way, if I'm not still holding on to that and I just drop it, it creates a hole in the whole system. And then people have bad results. People have a bad experience. So learning to let things go. Cody Sanchez, Alex Hermosi, Layla Hermosi talk about delegation.
Yeah. I saw Cody Sanchez in San Antonio maybe 6 months ago.
She doesn't like dry cleaners.
She doesn't?
No, she calls them a dirty business.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She likes laundromats. She likes laundromats, but not a dry cleaners. So
damn it, Cody.
Cody, I'm listening to you.
Yeah,
if you want to come through.
Explain that.
Yeah.
I don't know what her main business is.
Buying and flipping businesses. Portfolio. Like, have you heard of Pink's, the window cleaning business in Austin?
Mm-mm.
I think like her a good example of that is she found them early, put their brand, dialed their branding up, dialed their marketing up, helped them franchise, got them franchised, and then helped them launch and sell the business to capital investors.
Yeah, she's good. She's smart.
Very, very.
She's got a resume.
Yeah.
And she's done it.
Very much so. And that's why when I talk about like just joking, interested in the conversation, that's all. If you don't joke about something, then there's no room for a conversation to ever open up.
Yeah. Well, where else do we go with this?
What are your plans? What's going on with Bonner Enterprises? Where are you going next?
Bonner Enterprises. This is because I'm at a year on the podcast, so we were really at the same spot in our business. But the podcast isn't a business, and it is a business, but it's not one that I'm like actively trying to make a living at.
Yeah, it's not a cash cow business.
I am working for some advertisers this coming year, because the views that we're getting on these things, one of my guests coming up will have tens of millions of views. And I have business owners sit across from me every time we do this that have needs, whether it be credit card processing, banking relationships. They need their clothes clean. And people are listening to what we're doing. So I am trying to build that up with some advertising revenue. But the main thing that this has been for me is a connection maker, a deal maker. I'm doing deals. I text 3 or 4 people today that the only reason I know them is because of this podcast. We've looked at restaurants because of this podcast that we want to buy. If anybody's tired of their restaurant and it's been around for, 20 or 30 years, we want to look at buying that. We just opened a coffee shop 5 days ago in Amarillo. That's been a party. And that's one of the things that I want people to know. I'm not up here on a soapbox saying jack shit. I'm interviewing business owners with real life stories. And with my coffee shop, we made a pretty big mistake. And
we're gonna go there.
We
now.
might as well.
Okay. I thought we were gonna get out of here without it.
We might as well. It's fun because it's a true fucking story.
This is business wide open.
This is. I met a manager, a lady, a couple of years ago that said we need to have a coffee shop in Amarillo. And I told her, if you go find me 5 pieces of real estate to rent or buy, I'll go look at them. But I'm not cruising up and looking, find them. She found me 5 places. We went and looked at them. And I go, that's the one. Let's get it. So we got it, signed a lease, which for those that are going to put a shop in or lease a spot, do not sign a lease until you have your permits and shit in place. And if you do, make sure it's at a way discounted rate, because it took us like 7 months in Amarillo to get permits ready to build. And during that time, the shit hit the fan with me on business. We had, a ton of shit happen. I didn't have the cash coming in that we wanted, and so on and so forth. You've been doing it for the past year. Some months are great, other months suck. So
it can get stressful, especially with the seasonality you were talking about.
Yeah.
If you're not prepared, my first year, man, getting used to the summer, it slows down, and the winter is awesome. So the cash flows that you're anticipating, what you're working with, and then all of a sudden it shifts.
It's crazy.
It makes a big difference.
So I let this manager, and I'm having this conversation with him on Thursday, so I don't give a shit. This won't air until afterwards.
Yeah.
And I don't care, but what I want people to know is that I do practice what I preach. So we let the manager hire all these people. I call them the misfits. They are not really of what we're looking for in employees.
They're not the Bonner Enterprise brand.
And I'll put my team, just like you'll put your team up, against anybody.
Yeah.
Well, we hired the misfits, and I told them that I am looking for a race car to run a race in. And you gave me a Kia Rio with 3 flat tires.
Wow. No holding back.
So I'm not holding back, and I don't give a fuck. I got to fix it.
Yeah.
I have, $250,000 in this thing. So why
in Amarillo, Texas,
yes.
too. Do you think that fits the demographic around there?
So the answer to that is absolutely not. And as a matter of fact, if you rode your horse through our drive-through and one of the misfits opened the window, the horse would flinch.
That's new.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going up there, and this is I was talking to my dad, my business partner. We had a team to open this coffee shop. I have a manager. She's part owner now. That's coming. They were supposed to be trained. They're supposed to be this before we open the door. She gets there. We've been paying for training. We've been paying for this. None of this happened. So when we opened Beer House down in Port Aransas, there wasn't one employee that hadn't worked at Beer House. We opened it. Whatever you're throwing at us, no problem.
Right. We're rolling.
Well, here in Amarillo, we have all the problems.
Oh, no.
But the difference between me and other people is I do have 25 years of experience with teams. I'm going in there Thursday or maybe tomorrow, and we have a meeting Thursday night, and I'm going to have this motherfucker straight in 30 days or less. I think I'm going to have it in 2 weeks.
You have to. This is what business is all about, is being willing to go out and do what needs to be done to keep it alive.
And like I'm doing
having that much money invested. Yeah. And then, so as a investor, what do you think, if you were going to do this again with another person, what do you think you could do differently to avoid this kind of situation?
Well, I put all my trust in this manager, and I really did. And I just kind of let it ride. And that's fine. I take ownership of that, but I should have check and balance. And it's okay, because this person, I am actually not going to let her fail as a manager. If I have to move her down, then I have to move her down to put somebody above her. But she is the reason we're in Amarillo. I think she's more than capable. Maybe her resume she didn't do exactly what she said on her resume. Yeah. But I'm also a caring person. So there's lines in business, right? Some people would say, no, move on, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to do that with her. We're going to work on it.
Well, and that's an experience thing too. I think for you, like that's your feeling of who that person is. And once you kind of have your own barometer, you're the dictator of how much risk you're willing to take with that person.
And she is a wonderful person. She's been there since the beginning. And I told her, you and I are walking hand in hand, and we're going to have this race car running. She might not like some of my decisions that I make for her, but I don't care.
She may not like the color of the race car, but it's going to be zooming around the track.
Right. Yeah. And we're fortunate that the drive-through, we had a gas pipe that was in the way that needed to get inspected. We can't pour concrete right now because of the temperature. So all we're dealing with is the inside of this coffee shop right now. And thank God, because if we were dealing with the inside and the drive-through and the food coming out, we would have a lot to work on. But right now, all we have to do is work on the inside, and we're going to get it.
So at all these coffee shops that you're working on, do they all have their own kind of spin and twist, or are you kind of franchising them? What's your outlook and goal for that section of the business?
Well, these are all, so we have pastry. All the coffee is the same menu. Then we have our top 5 selling pastries that we make at all of them. And then I give the manager their leeway to make the other pastries that they want. Because baking people that like to bake, they enjoy that shit.
Right.
And what happens if they come up with a home run? So I give them the leeway to make those things. And Paint Rock, the city, she makes dinner and all kinds of stuff. It's a tiny town. So yeah, we give them their own leeway. But the end goal with Paint Rock Coffee, I don't have one yet. I think we're going to I'm just building one at a time. I think we'll have 10 of them within the next 2 years.
In Texas or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go wherever, but we'll have 10 of them. If I had some investor money, I'd go 20 of them. Even more, but it takes...
So you believe in the viability of the coffee business as long as you are putting out a quality product?
I believe in that, in a quality product in a busy location. That's the other thing with my experience on everything I've done, is that we put a bar. This is what we were talking about earlier with the person asking me about rent, but we had a bar in a tiny city of 600 people. Then we put a bar in Lubbock, Texas. Well, the applications at the bar, what's the word? The
demographic?
No, the day-to-day operations at a bar that is in a town of 600 people is the exact same as the day-to-day operations at a bar with 250,000 people. So one could do 15 grand in a month, and one might do $350,000. It's the same processes. You still got to order food. You still got to do a schedule. You still got to order booze. And so the moral of that story is because I've put these coffee shops in two kind of slow spots, and then now we have Amarillo, which is kicking ass already. It's nice to see that. And everybody tells you the 3 rules of business are location, location, location. But as a young dumbass that I was, you always think that you can adjust that curve.
Reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. And you're like, nah, put it here. It'll be badass. We'll do a good job, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, put it in the busiest damn spot you can. And we were talking about rent earlier. Do you want to run through that? You're a numbers guy.
Yeah. What do you want? What do you want to know?
Regurgitate what I said just for knowledge of rent that's $1,500 versus rent that's $5,000.
If the spot that costs you $5,000 is putting out 3 times the sales, and then the spot that's costing you $1,000 is 25 as a quarter of the sales, which one is actually costing you more money?
Yeah.
And the one that's costing you more is obviously the cheaper one in the shittier location.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because we would just think.
But it's so simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But why would we never think of that? Why? Because we look at the 1,500. So the example is there's a coffee shop.
Everybody always wants to be the anomaly.
We want to put a coffee shop here because it's $1,500 in rent. And so I told this person, why wouldn't you put it where it's $5,000 or $6,000 in rent on a busier street? And they said, well, we can't. And we're just using a coffee shop as an example of something else. And so I can't afford the $1,500 in rent. And we said, well, hold on. If that only does $15,000, then that's 10% of your rent. What if the location that does $5,000 or that costs $5,000 does $150,000? What percent is that? Was it 3 ish?
No, ish, yeah.
So that's 3%. So which one of the locations cost you more? And it's the same shit. So if you learned anything today in this hour with us, pay attention to that.
Pay attention to your numbers. The money is made in the numbers and the margins. The money is not made behind the counter making the product.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. You can always find someone to make the product, do a quality job, but if the numbers don't make sense, if you have a coffee shop that's selling a cup of coffee for $4 that costs them $4.50, it's never going to work.
No.
And if you don't know your numbers, you don't even know you're doing something wrong. So for me, I was telling Tommy before this, I live and die by my P&L. I want to know where all my money is being spent. I want to understand how it's being put to work. And if it's not being put to work, how can I put it to work? Because I don't have a lot of time or money, really.
The other thing I learned today is patience.
Cool. I'm glad you take it. I appreciate that.
As I get older, I've been working on that. It's one of the things I've been working on the past few years is not being so quick to react, maybe being kinder and gentler in the way that I react, and coaching on my reaction instead of pointing out.
Well, earlier you mentioned living in the moment. Like, just soak it in and recognize life's happening for you, not to you.
Enjoy the moment. I have a tattoo that says that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Well, stay away from them.
Yeah.
I waited 43 years and I was like, gosh, shit, these don't come off.
My wife just got one like a year ago out of the blue. Her and her sister got like a little matching one. But yeah, not a big tattoo guy.
I got a bunch of them on my arm and I waited 43 years, and then I tell everybody, they're like anything that you want. If you want a new pair of shoes, a new car, a new something, there's always that excitement to get them. And then as soon as you get them, it's like, wah, 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 wah. You're like, yeah, whatever.
And then you can move on to the buying the next thing.
But now I can make fun of tattoos, which I never did. I always wanted to see everybody's tattoos, and they probably thought it was kind of creepy because I love artwork. And so anyway, if you haven't got them yet, or you're pondering your next tattoo,
no, I'm good.
Bonner's advice would be, let your skin be.
I'd rather buy like a nice watch than a tattoo or something.
Well, I guess since you came here after a year, assuming I'm doing the podcast this next year, which I've already committed to going another year. The only thing I'm doing is I'm not trying to do it every week because that got kind of stressful with scheduling and shit. I would say that they will be coming out every 2 weeks because that's not like that much work or that hard.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we can work something out. Maybe I'll rent some space, talk about some other valuable topics, things like that I believe are valuable for business owners.
Well, you're going to have to come here next January.
Oh, okay.
You don't have a choice now.
We're locked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put the date on. But yeah, if you want to use the podcast studio for whatever you want, you're more than welcome to it.
And we're talking about doing a podcast episode in the van, my delivery van.
That'd be good.
Like I forget the comedian or Jerry Seinfeld.
Steve-O.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve-O from Jackass is in the van.
No. I'm talking about like Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, comedians in cars. Where and I'll drive the delivery route in the van so you can watch all the clothes disappear behind us.
That'd be great.
As we have a conversation and drive the route.
Oh, that'd be great.
So if I have that, I'd hope you'd come on.
That'd be fun. Just stop by, hand me my clothes.
No, you ride in the van with me through the whole route.
I'll do it.
We just talk business. We talk whatever.
That'd be fun.
Call it behind the steam.
Behind the steams.
Yeah.
You could come up with a lot of stuff with that. No, I'll do it. Well, tell everybody again where they can find you at.
Tip Top Cleaners, 321 West Mill Street in Braunfels, Texas. Instagram, TipTopNB, IMA_808. If you ever want to talk about economics, about financials, about business, about real estate, anything money you want to talk, I am here to convey value. So,
that'll keep your attention.
Yep. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. I appreciate your time. Thank you for having
dude,
me.
it's been fun. Let's wrap it up and get out of here. We appreciate y'all listening to A Business Under Fire today, and stay warm. It's going to be cold. I wonder if that snow's going to jack up all kinds of stuff. It's coming this weekend.
Yeah, I got to prep my boiler. Make sure it doesn't freeze.
Freeze miser. All right. Well, thank y'all. We're out of here.
Thanks for watching Business Under Fire. We'd love it if you would share, like, and subscribe. See you next time.